Have you ever wondered how one of the greatest empires in history rose from a small Italian town to command vast territories across Europe, Asia, and Africa? Let's journey back in time, about 27 centuries ago, where our tale unfurls in the heart of Italy on the banks of the river Tiber. The year is approximately 753 before Christ, and Rome is but a fledgling settlement, overshadowed by the grandeur of Greece and the might of Persia. But within this humble village, a seed is sown, a seed that would grow to become one of the most influential empires in human history. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the founding myth of Rome, a tale as old as time, of two brothers, Romulus and Remus. Raised by a she-wolf, these brothers had a destiny that was larger than life. Their tumultuous relationship, marred by rivalry, ended with Romulus standing victorious, laying the foundation of what would become Rome. Fast forward a few centuries to 509 before Christ, a pivotal moment in the history of Rome. The last Etruscan king is overthrown, and the Roman Republic is born. A new era dawns, an era marked by the rule of law, the establishment of social structures, and the seeds of democracy. The Roman Republic, though nascent, was not content with merely existing. It was hungry for growth, for expansion. It began to stretch its influence, gradually at first, then more boldly. Across the Italian peninsula, it took under its wings various Italian tribes and cities, absorbing their cultures, their military might, and their wealth. And yet, this was just the beginning. The Roman Republic was not satisfied with dominating the Italian peninsula. It cast its eyes further afield, across the Mediterranean, to the rich lands of Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was a time of great ambition, of daring exploits, and of relentless expansion. The stage was set, and the Roman Republic was about to embark on a journey that would forever change the course of history. This is Cultural Contours. Join us as we explore the once great Roman Empire. So how did this republic transform into an empire that spanned continents, you might wonder? Well, it wasn't overnight. It was a series of calculated moves, strategic battles, and shrewd acquisitions that set the stage for this transformation. Let's start with the Punic Wars. These were three major conflicts between Rome and Carthage, a city-state on the North African coast. The First Punic War, sparked by a struggle for control of Sicily, ended in Rome's favour, marking the beginning of Rome's expansion beyond the Italian peninsula. The Second Punic War, however, was a different story. This was the time of Hannibal and his infamous elephants. Despite Hannibal's tactical brilliance, Rome, with its indomitable spirit and resilience, ultimately prevailed. This victory solidified Rome's control over the Western Mediterranean. The Third Punic War, though, was less a war and more a final blow to Carthage. It was Rome's way of saying, "We're here and we're not going anywhere." The destruction of Carthage marked the end of a rival and the beginning of Rome's undisputed dominance, but Rome didn't stop there. The conquest of Greece was another significant milestone. Despite Rome's admiration for Greek culture, it didn't hesitate to bring this land of philosophers and warriors under its control. And of course, we cannot forget the key figures who played pivotal roles in these conquests. One such figure was Julius Caesar. His military genius, political acumen, and charismatic leadership propelled Rome's expansion. His victories in Gaul, his crossing of the Rubicon, and his eventual appointment as Dictator Perpetuo were crucial in shaping the Republic's future. But with great power comes great turmoil. As the Republic's territories grew, so did its internal struggles. The constant tug-of-war for power, the social and economic disparities, the political assassinations, all these were ticking time bombs waiting to explode. And explode they did, setting the stage for the rise of the Roman Empire. In the midst of chaos, a new form of government emerged, heralding the birth of the Roman Empire. In the turbulent wake of Julius Caesar's assassination, Rome found itself at a crossroads. The Republic, once a shining beacon of democracy, was in shambles. Power was up for grabs, and it was a young man named Octavian, later known as Augustus Caesar, who seized the opportunity. Stepping into the void left by his great-uncle Julius, Augustus navigated the choppy waters of Roman politics with a deftness that belied his youth. He was cunning and charismatic, with a keen understanding of the Roman psyche. Augustus knew that in order to consolidate his power, he would need to strike a delicate balance between maintaining the illusion of the Republic and cultivating the reality of his autocracy. And so, with a carefully crafted public image as first citizen, Augustus subtly shifted the Republic into an empire. The Senate still met, elections were still held, but it was Augustus who held the reins. He was a master of spectacle, using grand architectural projects and public games to cement his popularity among the masses. But Augustus wasn't just a shrewd politician. Under his reign, Rome entered an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity, known as the Pax Romana. For more than 200 years, the empire expanded, its borders stretching from the sun-baked sands of Egypt to the drizzling rain of Britain. It was an era of remarkable advancements. Roman roads connected distant provinces, Roman law brought order, and Roman culture permeated every corner of the empire. Literature, philosophy, art and architecture flourished, leaving an indelible mark on the world. Rome was at its peak, a beacon of civilization and grandeur. But as we know, what goes up must come down. The seeds of decline were already being sown, even as Rome basked in the glory of its golden age. The very forces that propelled it to greatness would also contribute to its eventual fall. But that's a tale for another scene. From the heights of prosperity, the empire began its descent, but what led to this decline? It wasn't a sudden collapse, but rather a slow, agonizing descent into oblivion. The once invincible Roman Empire was being eroded from within, even as it fought to maintain its borders. The core of the problem lay in three areas: political instability, economic troubles, and military decay. Let's start with political instability. The empire's vast size made it difficult to govern. The endless power struggles, assassinations, and short-lived leaders resulted in a lack of continuity and direction. Corruption was rampant, and the citizens' trust in their leaders dwindled. The empire was a giant on shaky legs, stumbling under the weight of its own bureaucracy. Next came the economic troubles. Rome's wealth was built on conquest, but as the empire stopped expanding, the flow of gold and slaves needed to maintain the economy slowed to a trickle. Heavy taxes burdened the citizens, leading to widespread dissatisfaction. The empire's coinage was devalued to fund the military, causing rampant inflation. And then there was military decay. The once mighty Roman legions, the backbone of the empire, were in a state of decline. Reduced discipline, lack of training, and the increasing reliance on foreign mercenaries who had little loyalty to Rome all contributed to this downfall. The military, once Rome's pride, was now its Achilles heel. As if these internal issues weren't enough, the empire also faced relentless pressure from external invasions. The Huns, Visigoths, and Vandals, among others, persistently attacked the empire's borders. The Roman military, stretched thin and struggling with its own issues, could not fend them off indefinitely. The once mighty empire was crumbling, a shadow of its former glory. The stage was set for the fall of Rome, a monumental event that would send shockwaves through history, forever changing the world as we know it. But that, dear listeners, is a story for another time. For now, let's remember Rome in its twilight, teetering on the edge of oblivion, yet still magnificent in its decline. The year 476 AD marked the end of an era. Rome had fallen, but how did it happen? Rome, once the pinnacle of civilization and the beacon of the ancient world, was now crumbling under the weight of its own grandeur. The empire was stretched thin, struggling to maintain its vast territories, and the cracks were beginning to show. Political corruption, economic instability, and the relentless pressure of barbarian invasions were chipping away at its foundations. In the heart of this turmoil, the unthinkable happened. The throne of the Western Roman Empire was abdicated by a boy. Romulus Augustus, the last Roman emperor, was but a child when he was forced to step down. A symbol of Rome's dwindling might, his reign was brief and fraught with challenges. The formidable empire was now reduced to a mere puppet state, its strings pulled by powerful barbarian tribes. The final blow came in the form of a barbarian leader named Odoacer. A man of ambition and brute force, Odoacer was a chieftain of the Germanic tribes that had been hammering at Rome's gates for years. In 476 AD, he did what no barbarian had done before. He stormed the city of Rome, deposed Romulus Augustus, and declared himself the king of Italy. This marked the end of the Western Roman Empire, a momentous event that sent shockwaves across the known world. The fall of Rome wasn't a sudden event, but rather a gradual decline, like a mighty tree slowly rotting from the inside. The once invincible empire had been gnawed away by years of internal decay and external pressure. Its fall was a testament to the transient nature of power and the inevitability of change. And so the sun set on the Roman Empire, leaving behind a legacy that continues to shape our world today. The fall of Rome was not the end of its story. The empire's legacy lived on. That's how we frame the next chapter of this historical saga. While the Western Roman Empire crumbled, the Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, didn't just survive, it thrived. It stood as a beacon of light in the Dark Ages, safeguarding the knowledge and culture of Rome for 1,000 years after the fall of its Western counterpart. Let's consider the Roman law, a system so advanced for its time that it became the bedrock for many modern legal systems. The Romans were meticulous lawmakers, establishing principles like innocent until proven guilty that are still fundamental to justice today. The Roman law's influence spread far and wide, shaping the legal frameworks of many Western civilizations. Let's not forget the Roman language, Latin. While no longer spoken, it's far from dead. It's the mother tongue of the Romance languages, Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Romanian, and has deeply influenced English. Even now, Latin phrases pepper our legal, scientific, and religious discourse. And then there's the architecture. The Romans were master builders. Their innovative use of the arch, the dome, and concrete revolutionized construction. From the mighty Colosseum to the intricate aqueducts, Roman architectural prowess is still evident today, not just in ruins, but in modern buildings inspired by their designs. Lastly, the culture. Rome's dramatic theatre, gladiator games, and intricate mosaics have left an indelible mark on global culture. The empire's tales of valor, love, and betrayal continue to inspire literature and cinema, while its philosophical and political ideas still spark debate in academic circles. Indeed, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it didn't fade away in one either. Its echoes continue to reverberate through time. The Roman Empire, in its grandeur and downfall, remains a living testament to human ambition, innovation, and resilience, reminding us of our capacity to create and destroy, to rise and fall, and to leave a legacy that survives the sands of time. So, we've journeyed through the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. But what does this all mean for us today? We've traveled through the lanes of time, witnessing the dawn of an empire that began as a small settlement on the banks of the river Tiber, growing into a republic that expanded its reach far and wide. We saw its evolution into an empire, a political juggernaut that was a beacon of civilization and progress in a world fraught with uncertainty. We bore witness to the empire's decline, a period characterized by political instability, economic turmoil, and social unrest. The fall of Rome, a momentous event that marked the end of an era, was a vivid testament to the fragility of even the mightiest of civilizations. And finally, we explored the aftermath and the enduring legacy of an empire that, despite its fall, has left footprints in the sands of time that continue to shape our world today. Throughout this journey, we've gleaned valuable insights from the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. It has taught us that power, no matter how formidable, is transient. It has shown us that the seeds of decline are often sown during the times of greatest prosperity. It has reminded us that societies, like individuals, must adapt to survive. And perhaps most importantly, it has underscored the enduring influence of culture and ideas, which persist long after the empires that birthed them have crumbled into dust. We've learnt that the Roman Empire, in all its grandeur and might, was not invincible. Its fall was precipitated by a myriad of factors, both internal and external. It serves as a stark reminder of the cyclical nature of history, where every rise is inevitably followed by a fall. As we delve into the annals of history, we're reminded of the transient nature of power and the enduring influence of culture and ideas. The Roman Empire may have fallen, but its spirit lives on. As we close our journey through time, we leave you with a final thought to ponder. What is it that makes an empire truly great and enduring? Is it the expanse of its territory, the strength of its armies, the grandeur of its architecture, or the wisdom of its leaders? Or is it perhaps something less tangible? Something woven into the fabric of its culture, its values and its people. The Roman Empire was a monumental testament to human ambition and ingenuity, a civilization that stretched from the sun-drenched hills of Italy to the distant shores of Britannia. It was an empire of marble and iron, of poets and philosophers, of gladiators and emperors. It was a beacon of civilization in a world often shrouded in darkness. Yet, as we've seen, even the mightiest empires are not impervious to decline and fall. The Romans faced their share of challenges and adversities. They grappled with political corruption, economic instability, military invasions, and societal unrest. In the end, their empire crumbled, but their legacy endured. As we reflect on the story of the Roman Empire, we're reminded of the ebb and flow of history. We're reminded that empires rise and fall, that societies evolve and change, and that nothing is permanent. We're reminded that we too are part of this grand tapestry of history. We're shaped by the past even as we shape the future. So, what can we learn from the Romans? Perhaps it's the importance of unity and cooperation, of balance and moderation, of courage and resilience. Perhaps it's the understanding that an empire's true strength lies not in its walls or its weapons, but in its people and their ideals. As we stand on the shoulders of giants, we continue to shape our world one day at a time. Until our next historical adventure, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep exploring. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Cultural Contours.